Hey everyone, if you enjoy Will There Be Cake and you want to help us out, we are on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/7lamb, the number 7LAMB, and you can donate as little as $1 a month. It all goes to helping us out and creating content such as this. Thanks and enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of Will There Be Cake?
Whoop, whoop.
I'm Robert Lamb. With me, as always,
Amber
Simpson.
Me.
Hey, Amber Simpson.
Hey, Robert Lamb.
If I mentioned Ben Stiller, a giant T-Rex skeleton,
Whoa.
and Amelia Earhart, what would that make you think of?
Night at the Museum.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of something funny and clever, and I'm like, I can't.
Well, that's what I was going for. Night at the Museum. Actually, I was going for Night at the Museum 2.
2? I don't think I ever
Maybe
saw
it was
that
3.
one.
What's the one where Amy? I don't know. Maybe it was 1.
Okay.
I don't know. I get them all mixed up because
I mean, they're not the best.
Yeah, they're fine. But why would I be mentioning A Night at a Museum?
I've even forgot those movies existed, but because it's International Museum Day.
International, all over the world.
All over the world.
ELO?
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's today. I mean, you can't go to museums today, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, social distancing and all. But when you don't have to social distance, you get into one of the museums. I'm sure everybody who's listening has been to at least one museum in their lifetime.
Maybe.
I don't know. Who knows? I'm just speculating.
Probably. I think you're like forced to as a child in school. It's a field trip thing.
Yeah. You will go into the museum now.
Go into the museum and learn things. I hated it.
You.
When I was a kid, I hated museums.
Yeah.
I was like, why? Like, I didn't read any of the stuff on the wall.
I would read like a couple of them, and then I'd be like, all right, I'm bored. Oh,
Except
this was
for,
made in the
Great
1600s.
Explorations. That place was the shit.
Yeah, so there was Great Explorations, and I even didn't mind Mosey. Mosey was another, like, those were more like geared towards like experiments, and like they would show like different things. Like they had the electricity ball that you put your hand on. I'm like, ooh. And the Great Explorations, one time they used to have it was called the Dark Tunnel.
I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah, and you had to go through there without using obviously sight.
Yeah. I remember that was scary as shit.
It was pitch black, yeah, and you'd have to kind of feel around.
I remember
to see
some
where you
kids
go.
like you could just like if you got freaked out and cried, they could come get you. Like they turn on.
Yeah, they turn on the lights and grab you. But I think one of the times I went in it, I used to be scared of it at first.
Yeah,
and then like my dad would be like, "Come on, we'll go in there, we'll be fine." So then finally, like I did it a few times. I'm like, "All right," so I would go in there by myself. And one time I found a guy's wallet.
Whoa!
Yeah, and I came out and I was like, "I found a wallet." My dad's like, "Oh, well, look inside. Like, look inside, see if there's." And then he's like, "I think this is the guy who just walked by. He was right in front of you." I'm like, "All right."
Did
so
you
I
just
gave him the
felt
wallet.
it and then grabbed it?
Yeah, I was like walking. Oh, I felt it, and then I was like, "Oh, this is a wallet. This is definitely a wallet." There wasn't any money.
Wow, no
Just
money.
kidding. Just kidding. I gave it to the guy, and he gave me like $3.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a man.
I know. What a man. What a man. What a mighty cool man.
Mighty good man.
Yeah. So I liked that as a kid, but now being a little bit older, like I've been to a few museums, and I like them.
I think the last one I went to was the Dolly, which I've been to a few times, but I mean, it's been like the last 5-10 years that they redid it. They
They've done a couple. Well, yeah,
they've done like construction on it and made it super pretty and stuff. But
yeah, it's really fancy now.
They have some cool expeditions or whatever the fuck you call
well,
it.
exhibits.
Maybe.
Well, they do give you a backpack and some binoculars and a walking stick, and you gotta climb mountains. The Florida mountains.
Florida mountains.
Yeah, the Dolly Museum had they always have like a new exhibit like every month or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's been a few I've gone to that were like pretty
There's
cool.
a lot of museums like that. Did you ever go to the was it the body one?
No, that one's been
that.
all over. Isn't that a traveling one? Like they have it. Because I think
so.
it was in Miami for a little bit.
I think so.
It appeared in
It
the
was
hit
here, but I
film
never went.
Casino Royale.
Oh shit!
When James Bond goes to the body works
Yeah.
exhibit thing.
My favorites are like the dinosaur ones.
Yeah, they don't really have those around here, though.
Not around here, no.
They might have, like, some fossils, like some small fossils, but not, like...
Ooh, I went to a Star Wars museum. I think it was the one that's across the street kind of from the theater.
Oh, Fine Arts.
The Fine Arts, yeah.
Fine Arts Museum.
They had a Star Wars one. It was, like, the history of Star Wars, and they had, like, a bunch of, like, the outfits, and it was really cool.
That's pretty cool. I do remember when I came through. I didn't go see it, though.
I liked it. It was fun.
I've been to. Always wanted to go to the Smithsonian. Like I've never been to DC, so
That's
never
like
been.
the biggest one, right? That said it would take you like 3 days to get through all of them, or something like that. I don't remember how many days exactly, but I've been to one in New York, and I don't remember which one it was because I was younger. But I think that's the only other place I've been to museums. Oh wait, no, I went to one in Seattle as well, and they did like a Pearl Jam special because we were there for a Pearl Jam show. And that was kind of cool. That one was cool. They had a bunch of like pop. They had like a whole section of the museum dedicated to like pop culture stuff. So there was like a Kurt Cobain one that we went through, and
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Oh, and then they had like there was one. My favorite one. I wish I could. If I find pictures, I'll post them. But there's one that was like horror movies, and like they had like a bunch of like the masks or like creatures from horror movies and stuff. That one was really fun too.
That's pretty cool.
I'm talking about all like stuff that's not.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I think there's different types of museums, and different types of exhibits. I went to the Museum of the Rockies. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember what it was called, but that's in Bozeman, Montana. I went to that one because I was walking across the country and decided to just stop by and go through a museum because I hadn't been in a while.
Was it like Montana?
No, it was just like a regular museum. Like they had different exhibits. Like there were some about like old automobiles were in there.
That's
then they also
cool.
had a couple dinosaur skeletons, and like they had like a Tyrannosaurus skull or some kind of like dinosaur skull, and then they also have like a whole dinosaur out front of the I don't know if it's Tyrannosaur, but it's something like Allosaurus or something like that in the front. And then they had like some other things. Like to me, there's always like the depressing parts of like the museums where it shows like
war and stuff.
Yeah, like I remember I did go to the Holocaust Museum, or like when they did like an exhibit or whatever. And then I've seen the Titanic one.
Yeah, I've seen the Titanic one
down
too.
Here.
That one's pretty dope.
In the Museum of the Rockies, they had one that was like there's like a lot about like Native Americans and then, like how they were treated, but then also it also had like how people were killing like bison and stuff like that, and like there was just like a picture of like it had thousands of just bison skulls like in a pyramid, and a guy standing on top of all of them. And I'm just like, they just wiped out all these animals for like no reason.
That's so sad.
Yeah, so like that kind of stuff like gets depressing.
I wish I could go to museums today. This would be a great
time.
I
thought you meant like just in general. Like,
I mean, I guess I could just watch some documentaries, but like documentaries put me to sleep if I'm in a museum and it's more interactive. Because
you got to walk around.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know which one I did go to, which was also very depressing, was I forgot when I went to Africa.
Oh, shit.
Part of the tour was we stopped at the Apartheid Museum, which is...
what side?
North side? South side?
All I heard was blah, blah, blah.
The Apartheid. It's called Apartheid. Yeah, Apartheid, which is the I don't even know how to describe it. The time period in which like basically it was like racism and kind of like slavery type stuff happening in South Africa. But one of the things like there was a lot of stuff like it was pretty interesting, but it was very reminiscent of like what happened here during like the like slave times and stuff like that, like how people, minorities were treated differently and stuff. It was different in like South Africa though, because like white people came in and were just like, we're gonna deal with this shit, like we got everything under control, you guys do what we want. And then basically like
white people, like
mining and all that kind of stuff they put in charge. But it was weird because one of the things it said was that when it all started they would classify people and you had to have papers. And they would classify people based on like your skin color kind of thing. And like you would either be considered Caucasian or I forget what it wasn't just like black, but it was like colored people or something like that. Yeah. So for colored people, they would say black people, people of like Muslim descent.
Right.
But then also Chinese people were considered
colored.
But then Caucasian was considered white people of European descent, but also like I think it was like Japanese. And they're like, why Japanese? And then some people speculate because Japanese people were supplying us with like
that makes
vehicles
sense.
or like different machinery and stuff like that, so they just got better treatment, which is like I always thought that was really interesting. Jesus. But yeah, so that was a fun museum to walk through and just see how horrible people were being treated for years, decades. But it was a good, cool thing to see anyways.
Have you been to the Holocaust Museum?
Yeah. But
it's been a really long time.
Yeah, I think it was like when I was younger. Like
yeah, I think same.
Probably like 12 years ago or something.
Yeah. I'd like to do it again now that I care more. Not that I didn't care back then, but I didn't care about learning.
But when I was younger, like you said, I didn't walk around and read everything.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? Just looked at shit.
Yeah. I don't know. That stuff like is more interesting to me now.
Yeah. Same. Being an adult.
Yeah, growing up.
So International Museum Day started in 1977. The International Council of Museums organized the day. And it's about raising awareness that museums are an important means of culture exchange, enrichment of cultures, and development of mutual understanding, cooperation, and peace among people. Yeah, museums are important.
They are.
And they have themes every year as well, like some of these holidays. And the 2020 theme is Museums for Equality, Diversity, and Inclusion. And they actually planned ahead for this COVID thing, and what is it called? International
the virtual tours.
Yeah, the International Council of Museum has like months ago asked museums to try and do something digital for people. They have 44,000 museum professionals, 20,000 museums in 138 countries that are part of the ICOM, or the International Council of Museums.
But do you have to pay for that? I'm assuming, right?
I
don't think they would. Why would they make it free?
I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of both.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm saying that I don't know why they would make it free to see their whole museum without going.
Well, I don't think it's just that. It's not just digital tours. It's just interactive activities digitally. It's not just going to be tours, but I haven't looked online yet to see what's happening today, but they asked all the museums to do something, so that they weren't very specific. Of course, they'd probably want it to go along with the theme, but they just want something digitally so people can still celebrate the day and, act like they're going to a museum.
Yeah. I'll just put it on my computer screen and then I'll just walk while I stare at the computer screen.
That would be cool, though. I hope we'll have to look it up. I hope there is some kind of digital walkthrough.
I'm sure that there's parts of it. Some museums I think already do that. They don't show everything, but they'll show parts of the museum, so you can.
Maybe you have to pay for it. It's a good day to support museums because nobody can go to them right now. So.
Yeah, and it might be a while before they can.
Yeah, so if they have some digital walkthroughs, today's the day to do it.
Yeah,
they need money for.
Well, that's definitely how you should celebrate today.
Yeah,
that's how you should celebrate.
And watch.
If you can't go to
Night at the Museum.
Watch Night at the Museum, and then go through
just
a walkthrough.
Just 2, not 1.
Yeah, 2 was better than 1, I think.
I don't remember.
I don't remember
if I saw 2
3.
or not.
There's a third one.
There's a third one?
Wasn't there?
I don't know. I should know. I worked at a movie theater.
Yeah, I kind of lost track of them.
I remember a monkey, that's all.
Yeah, I almost said a monkey, but I thought that would give it away before.
It already gave it away. But you said a T-Rex.
And I said Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller and a T-Rex.
Theodore Roosevelt. That was Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah. Good old Robin Williams.
Good old Robin Williams. I'm still trying to look up to see if there's more.
So do you think you celebrate today with a cake? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could put T-Rex.
An old cake
on it.
Do Elaine ate on Seinfeld. She ate that old Victorian cake, and it was worth $30,000.
What? Why would you eat that?
Well, she didn't know, but she said it was a little stale.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could just eat a cake while you're taking the virtual tour.
Yeah. That sounds like a great virtual tour snack.
And then after you're done with that, yeah, why not pop in Night at the Museum with Ben Stiller and watch one of those?
I'm sure there's some other museum-related movies.
Yeah, I know, but that was just there's 3 of them. Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian, and then Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb.
Ooh.
I think that's the one with Rami Malek as Imhotep or something.
Imhotep?
Is it not Imhotep?
Imhotep. Oh, lo, lo, lo.
No, he's Akhman-Ra. Imhotep is the mummy. Whatever. Dick Van Dyke's in it too, so that's cool. Anyways,
yeah,
it sounds like a pretty easy way to celebrate.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially since you got to stay at home.
Can't go to the museum.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Also, stay 6 feet away from people, guys.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
This has been a Seven Lamb production.